show starts. Good morning, Raptor Freaks.
Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Otts here. It's Friday Freakout. And today, I'm going to freak out and tell everybody why I think the Raptors are truly a championship contender. I was going to shoot the scenery out there, but it's too bright. I thought it was overcast enough that it would look okay. But yeah, we'll go ahead and just close it. But yeah, I really do truly feel like the Raptors have a possibility to be a championship contender this year because we're advanced and we're different and we do things totally different. And because we do things totally different, we build things right, we have an advanced chance to actually strive and achieve to go all the way up. Now, the guys on the team and Darko will not admit that they think that they're totally a championship team yet this year because they don't want to get cocky. They don't want to get ahead. They don't want to have this. But, you know, when they set out goals for the season, they don't limit themselves completely. They have to allow themselves to be able to grow at each level going through the season to get up and get up and get up. And you don't ever know where this will go. In fact, I would say the number one reason why I think we are a championship contender is because we've started taking off so early in the season. And because of that, there's, you know, as God willing, we will hopefully have success most of the 82 games. But in this case, you know, we have a long runway for the whole entire season to really master and work on what we need to do to shore up our ability to win in all situations. And that's what we're seeing already right now. We're seeing the Raptors win in different ways, win in close games, win in games where they win by 10 or 20. We've seen them win. That's basically what we're seeing. And, well, they can master winning in all kinds of different ways as they go through the season. We've talked about how they're playing Eastern teams. It's a little easier right now, and they'll have to play Western teams at some point. But still, the test will get increasingly hard, just like a video game. You go through the first level, it's easy. You get to the 10th level, it's a little bit harder. And I think that we just have to see how far the Raptors can go in this 82-game season with going up the levels in the video game called the 2025-2026 NBA season. Because, look, once the time we get to the first round, we're going to probably have home court advantage in the playoffs this year. And we will probably have a very good raucous Jurassic Park and Scotiabank Arena ready for those Raptors to be cheered on at our home court. Our home court is truly a home court advantage. But our team also, for reason number two, why I think they're going to be a title contender, is a road winning team also. We have an excellent road winning team record right now. And that is always boding and a symbol and a projection of a team that can win in the playoffs if they have a good road record. So I'm just going by the history of the NBA. And what are the signs of a team that is absolutely a true championship contender? And I'll tell you right now, the Raptors check all the boxes. What is another symbol of a championship team? It's a deep team, a team with role players, a team with weapons, a team with different guys to call different numbers on different scenarios with what you got to do in the game. And the fact that we have a roster that's probably about 14 deep of useful players that can contribute to some. I mean, we could even go deep and say Chucky Hepburn could have an X factor in the playoffs if he is on our playoff roster in the playoffs. And that kind of stuff happens where an unheralded rookie just comes up and has a certain key component to what happens in a game to help them win. So I'm just telling you, that's another important thing. If you're going to contend for a title, you have to have a deep team. And I would argue that the Raptors have a deeper team than the Cavs, and they're on the second apron. You know what I'm saying? I'd say we have a deeper team than the Bucks. We damn for sure have a deeper team than the Celtics. And there's a lot of Eastern teams that we have better depth than. We have better weapons. We have a better starting five, along with a better bench. So let's not get it twisted. They're not going to talk about us truthfully. They're not going to say anything good about us because in some ways they're scared of us. And in some ways they don't want to believe it's true. But I know it's true. And I've seen it with my own two eyes. And we can see it on the court in this winning streak that they're on right now. The whole addition of Brandon Ingram is a huge factor for why we're a title contender right now. Because, look, you do need a Kawhi. You do need a Vince Carter. You do need that clutch player that can help you carry you in the very, very high-pressure situations where the playoffs start cinching up and it's harder. Well, don't you think that Brandon Ingram's going to be a fantastic player for us to have to get us some wins in the playoffs when we're in these situations at the end of the year? Yeah. Yeah. And, I wouldn't say we're a title contender without Brandon on our team. If we were just our team last year without Brandon and he was not playing, I would not say that we could contend for a title this year. I'm realistic here. Some people may see the title in my stream today and say, Raptors Freak is crazy. He thinks we're a title contender this year. I damn for sure do. It may be very well a repeat year for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But, if we're in the finals against them at the end of the year, that's going to look real good. And that means we're definitely a title championship contender. I'm not saying we're going to win for sure. We got to delineate exactly what Raptors Freak is saying here in his freak out today. I'm not saying we're going to win for sure. We could mess around and win it. I mean, as we go, I say it's rightfully to say, because they don't want to say it. They don't want to say it, but they'll say something like Orlando's a championship contender. Well, if Orlando's a championship contender, Toronto damn for sure is too. I mean, let's go to the logic. Do they have a Brandon Ingram like that on their team that's going to do stuff like that? I don't think so. Do they have a bench like ours? I don't really think so. Do they have a coach like ours? That's another factor, because this is the thing. I think that Darko, I'm going to make a little prediction right now, that I think that Darko has a playoff mode as a coach. Yeah, seriously. Think about this. Darko was complimented by Brandon Ingram earlier this week for his energy that he loves. One of the biggest things he loves about being in Toronto is Darko coming in and yelling at them and go, whoa, like that. What is that whole energy thing? He's a burst of energy. He's a burst of going into people and saying, we're going to get energized. We're going to go. Well, guys that are like that, don't you think they just amplify their amplitude when they get into a higher pressure situation and what's going on? You don't think Darko's going to raise it up a notch with his intensity and the way he handles things as the coach? You're damn sure right he's going to when the playoffs happen. We know with Kawhi Leonard on our team when we won the championship, he had a playoff mode where he changed as a player on the coach. I'm going to predict right now that Darko has a playoff mode as a coach. And that there's going to be a whole other level of Coach Rajakovic that y'all are going to be like, holy shit, this dude really can coach. Because now he's on one of the biggest stages, and he ain't here to fuck up. He's coming here to win. And I'm telling you right now, I can see this. I can see this in November of 2025. That when we get the playoffs next year, people are going to be saying Coach Rajakovic is a playoff coach because, wow, look at what he just did. That's a big prediction. I'll put my money where my mouth is right now. And if this comes true later on, we're going to say Lex was right again. Lex was right again. Another huge factor for why I think our team is a title contender this year is because Jamal Shead. I'm going to say it right now. Jamal Shead is a true backup point guard, and in some ways he's a winner. He went to Houston under Kelvin Sampson, and he won a lot of games at college. And, well, this is a beautiful, glorious thing to have him as our backup point guard. I still believe that the backup point guard is one of the top 3 most important positions on an NBA team. And that, having an excellent backup point guard that's steady in pace setting and just does his job correctly is a huge bonus. And he is going to be a big reason why we're going to be successful and we could go all the way to the finals. Now, once again, I want to say, I'm not saying we're going to win the championship, because we could get to the finals this year and then win the championship next year or in the year after that. I think we will win the championship in the next 3 years, God willing, with health and good things happening to the team. So let's open our eyes up and say what we see. Don't listen to what you hear from the media, because, listen, they are not trying to see the Raptors have any success at all. And we can see our own success for ourselves. So please listen to me, what I'm saying. If you guys disagree with me and you think that the Raptors do not have a single chance, of why would I call them a title contender, and you think that's a joke, please write in the comments. I've actually opened up the stream today to the public. This is not just subscribers today. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, you could talk to me right now and tell me why I'm wrong, because I want to hear it. Seriously, come to me and tell me why you think I'm wrong. Why do you think I'm wrong? Why would you say that the Raptors, out of all the teams in the East right now, are not a title contender from the Eastern side? You can't give me an argument. I'm telling you that right now. And this is the thing. Nobody, I may have made this title for my stream today as clickbait to see, let's see if anybody comes in here and see what I have to say. But I'm telling you right now, we're a work in progress. We started at the first level right at the start, and we're going to get up leveling up this whole entire season as a team, God willing, with health. And we will be a totally different team by April. I'm telling you right now, look at it this way. The Pacers went to the Eastern Conference Finals and then to the finals this past year. When we played them during the season, they were hot trash. We kicked their ass. The Raptors won the season series against the Pacers last year. But what happened? Rick Carlisle is an amazing coach. He leveled up his team before the playoffs came. And as they went through the playoffs, they continued to level up. Where were they in January? They were a 500 team. They were not that good. But all of a sudden, the path through the Eastern Conference to get all the way to the finals against the Thunder opened up. Why wouldn't it be any different this year? The Celtics aren't even a top team this year like they were last year. Or the Knicks, the Cavs being in the way. They got out of the way for the Pacers just like that. So I'm just saying, guys, in some ways, we are way better off at this point in the season than the Pacers were at this time. And they went all the way to the finals last year. This is reasoning. This is deduction. This is, thinking about this. This is Windhursting. Your Windhurst says, the Raptors are a title contender. Yeah. Spit facts, Lex. That's what we're doing this morning. All right, let me check in with you guys on the chat this morning. Let's see what's up. Trevor J with his words of wisdom. Thank you, Commissioner Fun. Trevor J. Let people judge you. Let them misunderstand you. What they think of you is not your problem. Their opinions do not pay your bills. So you stay kind, committed to love, no matter what they do or say. That's what I love that. Never doubt your worth or the beauty of your truth. You keep shining. Yeah. If you want to have everybody love you, you're fucked. There's going to be people that are never going to like you. If you want validation from the outside, from other people, you're in trouble. No, you got to derive that from yourself, inside yourself. Sure, you have a circle of trust, people that you really care about, that you trust and their opinions, and they can have their opinions of you, and that you can base things on. But not on general public, not on just everybody out there, because we're not everybody's cup of tea. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I appreciate Trevor J. Go ahead, judge me, people. Come see my channel this morning. I love you. Either way, you don't have to like my channel or me. That's fine. But I'm going to talk about Raptors every morning. If you like that, then subscribe. That's what I'll say right there. There you go. Thank you, Trevor J., for your words of wisdom. And Trevor's also saying this. People are saying that no team wants to face the Raptors in the postseason. Yeah. I mean, it's already like that, too. That's another reason why. And you're giving me a good segue into why I think the Raptors are a title challenger, is because we have a style of play that the two teams in the finals were playing last year. We have this crazy, go get it, all up in your face kind of defense that is just annoying. And in some ways, that's the way the Pacers and the Thunder played to get to the finals last year. So we're in the prototype of the style that wins in the league right now, as proven as last year's matchup. And, a lot of copycats are trying to do this style right now around the league. Everybody try to get their cardio up this summer and try to get out there and come. Let's do what the Raptors do and the Thunder. Let's get out there and get after people. Okay, coach, we'll do it. I don't really want to do it, coach. Oh, come on now. Light a fire on your ass. Get going. Sorry, coach. It's just not in me. We're a 400 team. We're the Hornets. Why would I do this? This is the thing. Easier said than done if you want to play hard and play tough like the Raptors do. You got to have buy-in by your players. There's not a lot of teams that do that completely. So in some ways, we're already playing a playoff intensity kind of defense. And let's just ratchet it up even more when the playoffs come around. That's right. Let's go. Nobody wants to play the Raptors. That's right. Isaac Campbell's here with putting me on blast. He's got the starting five of Lex. I appreciate you, benevolent one, holding it down for us in the nation's capital, Ottawa, Ontario. Good morning, Isaac. Good to see you. Jerome Dukes, good morning to you, sir. I'd like to see new names in the chat, unless this is my friend Jason Dukes. I think this is Jerome. Raps are rocking. 905 are rocking. We are changing how basketball is played. There is an argument for this. The Raptors, in some ways, because of our situation as being the only Canadian team in the NBA, in some ways, we're trendsetters. In some ways, Masai Ujiri era and Bobby Webster with him has been, we've got to do things a little bit differently than everybody else. And there's been different kind of things that we have kind of created that have taken to the rest of the league, whether it's load management with Kawhi Leonard, whether it's the 6'9" monster that we built a couple of years ago that everybody started trying to mimic in the years after, a positionless basketball with a bunch of long arm wings. Well, I'm not saying that we started the play hard era, but we're definitely one of the front runners, have been doing it earlier than everybody else, and that is the trend. That's the trend right now. All out defense, full court defense, in your face defense, annoying defense. And the Raptors are one of the top teams in the league that do that kind of defense. So I love it. Jerome, it's awesome, man. Yeah, we're rocking. And I'm glad you mentioned the 905 also. Tomorrow, we will have both teams back in action. The Long Island Nets are the next victim of Andrew Jones and the Raptors 905. And well, we'll have the preview for both games tomorrow, the game against the Charlotte Hornets with the Raptors on the road, and also the 905 on the road in Long Island against the Nets. We'll have the referees for both games and the setup for both games tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. on the Raptor Freak channel. Yeah, good morning, Jerome. Good to see you. Guardian Transit's in the house. Longtime Raptor Freak, Guardian Transit, saying proud of the team and the intensity they bring as a group. This is another part of why I think that they're a real title contender, is because they are a true team. These guys are all for one, one for all, win for all. And that means they're doing it as a collective. They're not doing it as an ego-driven individuals. They are doing this for a bigger purpose beyond all themselves, by themselves. And that is the hallmark of a really good team in the NBA. And in some ways, you're going to need that if you want to be successful. So you can coast on talent alone to win championships in some years in the NBA's league. But you know what? You're much better off if you have a real team that plays like a team and sacrifices like a team. And that's a big part of why I truly believe we're a title contender also, because we are willing to make the sacrifices. And I don't know if every single team in this league and their superstars are willing to do the same. So I'll say that right now. Yeah, I'm very proud of them too, Guardian Transit. And the character of this team is beyond reproach, is what I say. That's why you build it that way. You don't have no knuckleheads like Morant on your team, because it doesn't come up and mess you up in the later in some sort of weird X factor you didn't even realize. So you have to do the FBI profiling of Bobby Webster before anybody gets in the door to come to Toronto. You don't come in unless you're a good bona fide player with a good head on your shoulders. No knuckleheads allowed at the door. That's what we say up here. Yeah, that's right. Jerome's saying this: we need a backup center. Recently heard of Koloko being available, or do you think we should go the trade route, Lex? We have so many different routes we can go this way. I do not think Koloko is the right option, even if he's available on the waiver wire. Some people would like that nice reuniting, but I don't think Koloko actually fits our needs for what we need as a backup big, because he just doesn't have the bulk. He's a very skinny guy, and he's a good help defender, but he's not the kind of defender we need, which is to replace Jakob's lane filling, shot blocking, defensive presence at the rim. Koloko cannot guard the paint. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why he got waived by the Lakers. And he would be a waste of time for what our needs are to try and fill. So, no, I say no to Koloko. In some ways, he made his decision when he got cleared by the fitness to play panel. And it's too late. And in some ways, it's too late for him in some ways with his development, because he went to the Lakers and he wasted 2 years instead of coming back to Toronto and getting better with us. Who knows who he could have been by now with us. But, well, he had to go to the Lakers and help out LeBron and waste his damn life doing that. So that's his own damn fault. Now, as far as other things, I'd like to do either like a trade is very likely. We also still have an open roster spot currently right now where we can just sign a free agent and not have to do a trade to fill this void too. You know, there's Serge Ibaka is somebody I'd much rather they go get, even though he's a couple years out of the league. You know, in some ways he'd be nostalgic. He would be experienced in the first run where we won the championship, and he could be very inspiring. The other thing about Serge is he's in top shape. He's really, really wanting to come back in the NBA. And I think that he would suffice. What we need is basically somebody to push people around and be a physical presence in the paint. And, you know, he doesn't even have to play that much. He could be break in case of emergency and just kind of another person around on the team. So I would like that acquisition. It's sentimental to a degree. And hell, why wouldn't you want to have a two-time NBA champion with the Toronto Raptors just in case we do fuck around and win this year? Serge Ibaka, two-time Raptors champion. That sounds real good, doesn't it? Yeah, I have a sentimental spot for that. But if we're more realistic and people that are actually around the league right now, Daniel Gafford's great. I love that trade idea. You know, Day'Ron Sharpe is also another one we talked a lot about also. This is the kind of stuff we're looking at right here, was what I think in Jerome. Yeah, let's see. Trevor J saying this. All those talking heads who was saying we were too expensive is never going to work. Now they all eating their words. This is the thing. They were saying all summer, the Raptors have such an expensive team for being such a shitty team. How did they even know we were a shitty team before we even played? Like, you know, they needed to let us actually show up with Brandon to see if we earned the money for what we're paying those guys. You know what I would say? I'd be more worried about the Cavs. That kind of what they talk about with us, they should be putting that on the Cavs. The Cavs have such a crazy, astronomical salary cap over the salary cap aprons mess that's going on with them. That if they're under way more pressure to be successful and do what they need to do, it's like championship or bust for them for sure. Because the way they're spending money on that roster with those big four that they have, they should be saying all the shit that they say about us all summer about the Cavaliers. Seriously. Because that's a much worse financial situation that if they're not successful, it's a big, huge failure is what I'm saying right now. Yeah, that's it right there. Trevor, thanks for the comment. Yeah, Jason. Yeah, that's Jason. Okay, it's Jason Dukes. Is Jerome Dukes. And thinking about that, let's go look at our fantasy league right now, guys. Guys, get your team set up in the Yahoo Fantasy League, the Raptor Freak Fantasy League. It looks like Jason is losing in his matchup to Amit, just barely. It's like a 20-point lead. So you got time to catch up, Jason. Yeah, y'all check on your fantasy lineups. And always Jason Dukes, the original Raptor Freak Yahoo Fantasy Champion. That's right. Kesper Film 1306. Good morning to you, sir. Darko lets his whole team know that the end goal is Larry O'Brien. Just watched the last episode of Open Gym previous seasons. Can't wait to see how he motivates his team in playoff mode. Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to limit themselves, and I'm sure they don't mentally. But also at the same time, you don't want to get too ahead of yourself and looking at the end goal too much as you're in the middle of the process. And I think that that's where teams can get messed up. I think that they're very smart. I think that Darko's very controlling with the team as far as he's very anti-social media. He's very much not wanting the players to get ahead of themselves and just stay present with what's in front of them on the plate next, and that's Charlotte. And that's very smart because it's a long journey and it can get overwhelming if you start thinking about everything you've got to do before you're going to try and get to Larry O'Brien. So step by step each way. And in some ways, it's like we're not looking that far out in the distance. We're not putting any pressure on this. In some ways, maybe I shouldn't make the stream. But in some ways, look, they may not be talking about on the inside. The media is not going to be talking about what I'm talking about today. So I'm going to talk about it because I want to put this flag in the moon and say, Raptors flag, we are a title contender. Y'all are going to be paying attention to us by the end of the year when we're going in the postseason, and we're going to be a real threat. They won't put us in that group. ESPN, TSN, Sportsnet, are you going to say the Raptors are an NBA title contender this year at any point? I don't know if you will. I don't know if you will, and I don't trust that you will. And I just want to speak my truth to what I see right now today. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying this in November, y'all. I'm saying this in November. Great to see you, Casper Film. And listen, you're right. In some ways, the ultimate goal, of course, what are we doing? We're not wasting our lives. We want to win that Larry O'Brien, but we have to compartmentalize the process so that it's not overwhelming and daunting is what I say to that. Yeah, as we go. Yeah, Kareem saying this. Good morning to Kareem Thomas. Let's play a game because it's Black Friday. Hey, chat, what's a good deal for cheap among players in the NBA that we can acquire for dirt cheap? This is what you want to do? Well, I still feel like Day'Ron Sharpe's fantastic. Seriously. I don't think he's that expensive. I think that we could trade one of our bench players for him straight up and just do a flip. And we don't even have to deal with trade picks or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So wouldn't that be ideal to not have to do trade any picks and just trade like one or two of our bench players to get a Day'Ron Sharpe? So I think that's the question I would say right now. Not named Koloko. Yeah, not Koloko. Not Koloko for sure. Good to see you, Kareem. Trevor's saying, check out Shed's interview. He believe in God. Yeah, I saw that interview posted. We know that Herbie is the team chaplain. Herbie Kuhn, who does the announcing for the Raptors, has done it since the beginning of the team in 1995, is a chaplain. He's an ordained minister, and he's often involved in prayer circles and prayer groups around the Raptors. So it's like not a surprise to me that Jamal Shed, a very religious person himself, came and spoke with Herbie's prayer group after the game in the arena. And yeah, that's that clip Trevor posted in our Discord last night. It's a prayer group and Jamal confessing his faith in God and speaking about his spirituality. It's fantastic stuff. Of course, we know a lot of our players are deeply, deeply followers of Christ, and very much all the glory to God. That's what Brandon said after he hit that shot the other night. All the glory to God. Jacoby Walter, Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick. These guys are all men of faith. And there is a very strong underlying faith-based backing in a lot of our players. I think most of them. Jonathan Mobo for sure too. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Mischief is here. I'll start scouting out the bottom teams to see what centers are available with at least 4 years experience. There you go. Mischief is ready to go check it out and see the terrain. And well, I'd love to see the findings of your report. If you want to come back and bring it to us in the days to come on this channel, I'll be happy to see it, Mischief. See your work. That's right. Kesper Firm is saying Ibaka would be an additional Garrett Temple, but with championship experience, which is great for the young ones. Hopefully he can also show it on the court too. Yeah, like I said, in some ways it's like ideally we want Yak to just be healthy. But if things do get kind of weird and all of a sudden it's like Sandro and then Scott and Jonathan are the bigs, Scotty I have to give Scotty credit. He is a little bit more adept at playing five at this point. When we played Jokic in the preseason, Scotty played him pretty much that game because I don't think Jakob was available. And Scotty did pretty good physically with Jokic in the preseason game against Denver. Of course, they won that game in Vancouver. And, but still, I have more faith in Scotty this year, not last year, in him playing five and guarding the five much more this year. It's just he's graduated with his body and his strength to another level. And I really feel more confident with him being added into that depth chart. But the flip side of it is we don't really want him to waste his energy and strength running around guarding fives because that's not really a skilled job. In some ways, you want somebody like a Day'Ron Sharp or a Serge Ibaka, not a Serge Ibaka, but just a guy who's somebody who's going to hold position and size. And Scotty could do so many other things with his energy that are much more helpful to us. So in some ways, that's why I don't like having him in the depth chart for center. But Scotty is that jack of all trades that if we have to have him at center, yeah, he can do his Magic Johnson like Magic did against the Celtics in the finals when Kareem went out. He can do that too. That's another reason why we should be a championship contender because we have the versatility of Scott, and Scott is a winning player on both ends of the court. So we're going to see that, man. Good stuff, man. Kareem's saying, what about Brook Lopez? I don't like him, but I think he would do well in the dock. Well, he's a part of the old home in L.A. right now in the Clippers. He's on the Clippers, right? And, maybe because the Clippers are so dismally bad so far this season, maybe there will be some sort of fire sale on some of their old parts on their team. I mean, Brook Lopez is interesting. He's very slow, though. That's the one problem I would have with this. Is in some ways, we need somebody who'll get up and down the court like Mamu and Pirtle do with the Raptors. So he better run if he's going to be on the Raptors. That's all I got to say. And if he's near the end of his career and he's not really been known as a quick up and down the court center, maybe he's not a fit. Because our list of what we want in that backup big is very specific, and they cannot be slowing us down in our transition game. So, he may work. He may work for this, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't mind Brook Lopez. I feel like he is a huge, great defensive player, but I feel like he may be too slow for our game is what I'm thinking. Yeah. Jerome's saying this. Lex, I was at work a week ago and I was watching the stream of the 905, and I saw you chatting up the posting stream, put a smile on my face. That's awesome, man. Yeah, if the game is an 11 o'clock game in the morning, I will do the commentary for the 905 game. If the 11 a.m. starts, I'll go ahead and bump my stream back to closer to when the game starts, and I'll do call play-by-play for the 905 games. If you're interested in hearing me do the call, like the color and the play-by-play, I'll probably do that again for some more of the 905 games that have 11 a.m. start. So, yeah, we look forward to that at some point. I don't know when the next one is, these school day games where they have all the kids down there. That's what I do. But I appreciate that you enjoyed that, Jason. And, well, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you guys. That's right. Trevor's saying this. The more this team wins, the more scary they're going to come around the NBA. Tomorrow night, the Raptors have the opportunity to acquire a 10-game winning streak. And that's fantastic. It's going against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte. We'll have to see. Nothing's guaranteed. We will not take them lightly. We'll take this game very seriously, and we'll come in there and give it our best effort. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably win. But, because ESPN's saying we're like, I think we're 80% chance to win against the Hornets in the matchup predictor. So, yeah, even though it's on the road. Now, I wish we were playing in Charlotte tonight. This would make it much better, having 2 days off in a row and then a back-to-back where they play in Charlotte on Saturday night and then New York in Madison Square Garden on Sunday. That's not ideal, especially since in the last couple of weeks we've been doing 1 day on, 1 day off kind of schedule where we play and then an off day, play and then off day, play and then off day. The pattern has been broken, and it's too bad that we're not playing in Charlotte tonight. It's probably an arena conflict with maybe some sort of concert or something or hockey that's in the way. But, man, it would have been a lot nicer if the game was tonight against the Hornets is what I'm saying. And then we play the Knicks with a day in between. That would be way, way better. Yeah. Jerome saying this, the name I saw being floated around for backup center, Sharp from Brooklyn. I think it was Samson Folk that brought him up. We've been talking about him for a couple of weeks. There's a very specific connection that Day'Ron has with our team that makes him attractive to come to our team, and that is he's best friends with Scotty Barnes. He went to high school at Montverde with Scotty at the same time, and they are very close. I mean, I've known Scotty's friends with Day'Ron since he came into the league. When we were watching him on Twitch in 2022 in the summer, he very much I knew that he was one of his closest friends in the league. It's like Jalen Green, Kay Cunningham, Jonathan Mobo, and Day'Ron Sharp. Those are like three of his very best friends that play in this league. So, you want to make your franchise player happy, go get another one of his friends. It's very helpful to the team also, and have him play. The other thing is there's an added chemistry already installed with Sharp, with Scott, because they're very familiar with each other. And he'd be an easier add-on in the middle of the season because he'd be able to adapt. And plus, part of the reason why Jonathan's done so well for us is the confidence of having his best friend on the team will help. So who knows what could happen with Day'Ron if he came to the Raptors. He could have an uptick in his play, partly just because he's feeling good because he's on a new team that's winning, and one of his best friends is alongside him on that. So that's why Sharp is being talked about so much coming here. A big part of it is Scotty. So, Samson's bringing it up. I brought it up like maybe a month ago. And there's a lot of people talking about him because it could be very well possible. Very, very much possible. Yeah, let's see what's going on with the tabs, guys. I'm looking at the standings for the NBA Cup, and the Raptors have qualified and the Lakers have qualified. There's speculation that on December the 9th or the 10th, the Raptors will play the winner of Group C or the wild card, I think is what they're saying. So we have to see how it all figures out with the final group play games, and then we'll find out who our knockout round opponent will be in Toronto at the Scotiabank Arena. But who knows? It's looking like the possibilities right now for the Raptors to have to play could be there's an outside chance it could be the Cavs, but it's not very likely. Orlando, Detroit, Miami, New York, or Milwaukee. Those are really the only 6 teams that are possible for the knockout round with us at this point. Some of them are higher percentage chance of being that team. And, well, as we get closer and these games get played, it'll be more clear who our opponent will be on December the 9th or 10th in the knockout round. Yeah, so, that's good stuff. Let's go look at the Instagram stories real quick. Now, the players yesterday, it was Thanksgiving, and a lot of the players went home because, they're going to North Carolina for tomorrow's game. But it's nice to have 2 days off right around Thanksgiving. So a lot of players were quiet on social media yesterday while they were doing turkey day with their families. But, a couple of them were piling on Jacoby, though. Jacoby Walter has a picture of him walking into the game, staring at the wall and smiling. And all the Raptors are kind of like, what are you looking at, bro? Why are you smiling at the wall, Jacoby? I don't know. Maybe there's a reflection. He's smiling at himself. Maybe he's just a smiley guy, and maybe he's just walking by, and the camera caught a weird second where it's like he's smiling at the wall. I don't know. You guys are busting his chops. I know this is just part of the team camaraderie, and there's nothing really serious about this. But, man, don't bully Jacoby because he likes to smile at walls. It's nice. He's just gracing the wall with his presence. I don't know. There's Norman Powell walking in to the game for the Miami Heat. And, well, things are very blessed for Norman. He had a very good Thanksgiving. His life is so blessed. He was showing a lot of gratitude. There he is with his girlfriend, Bella. And, they're going to have a baby. There's so much good stuff happening for Norman and his girlfriend and things that are coming up, man. So, bless it be the life of Powell. And I love that. CBL. All right, y'all, check out the CBL. Canadian Elite Basketball League is a fantastic product. It's going to be coming back around next season. I go to CBL games and I enjoy them. Scarborough Shooting Stars is my team out at the Pan Am Center. But yeah, if you are in other parts of Canada and you don't have basketball, you got basketball. If you do have a CBL team, go to those games. Winnipeg Sea Bears, Vancouver Bandits, yeah, Hamilton Honey Badgers. You know, go to these games. Edmonton Stingers. We got teams all over the place. Calgary Surge. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Kyle Lowry's showing off his son on Thanksgiving. Carter is looking older and bigger. In fact, his frame's looking like a little mini Juju Reese. Like, this kid has got some bulk to him. I think he will have his father's derriere, just the way things are going right here. But yeah, his skills are looking good. He looks like he's doing very good for his age. So you know what? We may be hearing about Carter Lowry around the NBA in a few years, guys. Maybe in about 10 years from now, we might be seeing this guy on the NBA court. So keep working, young Lowry. And we're always rooting for the growth son here on the Raptor Freak channel. That's right. Coach Andrew Jones showing off his coaching staff. And yeah, he's got to be proud. There's his son, Duncan, at home. And there's his two daughters. And they are something else. What a duo. Heidi and Ava be hooping. And be watching out for these young ladies. The next generation is coming. And I'll tell you, there's some players that I see that I know are going to be real good that are young. And the Jones girls are them too. Yeah, Carter Lowry, Ava and Heidi Jones, look out. They are coming. I'm telling you right now, these are the youth and the future of basketball, and they are good. I'm telling you, I've been watching them. I'm scouting your kids, Raptors and Raptors coaches, and they're good. I'm scouting them. I see them. I scouted Steph Curry in 2000. I was right. All right, let's keep going. Jamal Murray, not Jamal Murray, Colin Murray Boyles has got time to feast, and I guess he's got the football. They were watching the football and the Thanksgiving. That's a tradition, and he's making fun of Jacoby for staring at the wall. What are you staring at, gang? What are you staring at, my guy? And there's Jamal Shedd's Instagram and an action photo of him, and he's like, "What are you staring at, Jacoby?" And he has the picture of Jacoby staring at the wall again. It's crazy. Matt Devlin with his call for BI on the game winner the other night. You gotta love that, man. I love when Matt Devlin replays and posts his calls that are just so awesome from games. Yeah, he has one of the best calls in the league. That's what I'm saying right there. Let's see. Chris Boucher is with his son, and he's eating that turkey. Look at that kid getting down. You know, he's serious about eating because he has his shirt off. You know, you're getting down some major eating if you have to take your shirt off while you're eating. You know what that's like. But yeah, the Thanksgiving feast at the Boucher family house looks awesome, man. And his kid looks really happy, so that's good. Jacoby Walters not staring at a wall on his Instagram. He's staring at TJ McConnell from the game the other day. And he's also got the play. They're showing him after Brandon made the shot and him celebrating with Brandon at the end of the game and Scotty. That's a cool part. Sandra Mamu has got an action shot posted to him by the Raptors official admin. Emmanuel Quickly has an action shot of him posted by Raptors admin. Yeah, let's see. Fred VanVleet has released his first episode of his Fred VanVleet TV podcast. And he's talking about winning the championship with the Raptors and just how it changed his mindset. And it also bona fided him. In some ways, Fred espoused that winning the championship with the Raptors validated him as who he thinks he is. And it's to say, you're a winner and you are this person in that. So Freddie, awesome podcast so far. And I look forward to hearing more tales and stories and opinions from the great Fred VanVleet. That's right. Let's see. James Wade is filming his son on the scooter at the park, going all around and doing all kinds of stuff on the park, which he's filmed him before doing that. And then we got Charles Oakley doing Thanksgiving stuff, feeding the people out in the street. So yeah, Charles is like that, man. Charles has always been a philanthropist, and of course he loves cooking food. He's all about good food. So Big Oak doing his thing on Thanksgiving, the right kind of thing, and giving back and helping out people that are less fortunate. So yeah. Let's see. Babe, you're distracting. All right, let's keep going. I want to do some Raptors Reddit reactions since there's a lot going on here. Somebody's posted Scotty and Evan Mobley comparison of their stats this year, and Scotty's dominating Evan. 3-0 record against him. He's averaging more points. The only thing that Evan's beating him on is rebounds. And they're tied for blocks. Every single other metric of stats, Scotty Barnes is beating Evan Mobley this year, is what I'm seeing right here. Let's see what else we got on Raptors Reddit, because there's been some funny Raptors Moments has a really cool video out of Scotty Barnes being obsessed with Jakob Poeltl on no-look passes. So I guess he's got a compilation of Scotty putting no-look passes towards Big Yak. That's pretty cool. I like that. Bleacher Report is putting out a mock trade where we get Ja Morant for Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, and they're crazy. Nobody wants this up in Toronto. Bleacher Report, we don't want that garbage up here. Get that garbage out of here. A lot of people on Reddit are saying that the throwing of the bottle by Brandon Ingram in Philadelphia in that last loss we had was the changing moment. And that we're trying to build the folklore that when Brandon threw the bottle, everything started to be awesome. I think this is so funny. I like how this has evolved from let's chastise and hate Brandon for throwing a water bottle very carelessly where he could have hurt someone and he got fined for it to this is the stimulus that has caused us to be on a 9-game win streak. That's awesome. Raptors Nation, y'all are weird, but yeah, I'll take it. Let's go ahead and make this the folklore that the bottle throwing was a catalyst for good things to come. That's right. I like that. I like that better than y'all coming down on him and judging him for his character. Y'all judging him still? We have apology forms. In fact, I just started Xeroxing a bunch of them. And we don't even put the name for who you're apologizing to anymore. You got to write in the name because especially if it's Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Darko Rajakovic, Brandon Ingram, you go ahead and fill in your apology form, Raptors fans, that turn on these people or make fun of them or talk trash when they're not doing well. So, yeah, where's the apology form for Brandon and how y'all judged him for throwing that bottle? That's right. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. That's right. Garrett Temple came out and actually explained the origins of the Raptors conga line before the game. He said that he first started doing it just himself. Like he liked to do a little dance to kind of get good feelings and vibes. And Jamal came up behind him and put his hands on his shoulder. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And he thought it was just Jamal that was doing it. And then other guys started getting on the conga line and grabbing each other's shoulders. And it evolved into that. Garrett Temple did not intend to start a conga line. He was just doing a little pre-game ritual. And the guys just added to it. And he didn't even know. And then later on, he said, whoa, wait, all those guys are behind me doing that? That's a pretty cool story. Yeah, it's becoming a tradition. And you know what? Vibes check. It's immaculate. Thank you for doing it, Garrett. That's what I say right there. Thank you for doing it. The connection, the vibes you're building is awesome on that. That's right. Let me see. Somebody wants to know where they can get a signed Jack Armstrong photo. You know, why not just get him to do a cameo for you? Because he does those where you can pay him some money. He'll do a little specialized, hey, it's Jack Armstrong. Tell their husband to get that garbage out of here. It smells and it's in the kitchen and he hasn't done his chores. That's what I'd want him to do if I got a cameo by him. I'd be like, can you do that? Get that garbage out of there, but tell him that it's like the garbage and it smells and get it out of the house. I'm so stupid. All right, let's keep going. Somebody's saying that Matt and Jack are too negative during the game right now. They're saying their negativity is driving me nuts. I don't think that they're that negative. I think they're pretty fair. I think that sometimes it annoys me when Matt Devlin says the Raptors have not scored in the last 3.5 minutes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, man, I hate that shit. And, you know, Jack Armstrong, he can be critical of the Raptors because he cares and he wants them to play better. So sometimes he's like that. Leo Routen's like that before, too. But, you know, I don't think that our announce crew is like overly negative towards our team. I think, in fact, they're very kind and nice and gentle and great, but they also have to balance their broadcast with praise and saying good things about the other team at times too. That's a better broadcast to do. It's a fair and balanced one, but you have a little bit of a homerish tip towards your team and rooting for them and speaking them up. But if the other team is excelling and somebody on the other team's doing well, you need to talk them up too. That's how broadcast is supposed to be done. And the Raptors announcers have been like that most of the career of the Raptors, the franchise. And they've gotten more homerish in recent years. The early broadcasts with the Raptors were worse than this. Whoever posted this in Reddit. You don't even understand how mean Leo Routen's was to the Raptors in the 90s. He was so mean to the early expansion Raptors and how they played. So, yeah, this is nothing. Just trust me on this. It could be a lot worse. Seriously. All right. I love this. Bill Simmons is saying that Perkins was right. That Kendrick was right about the Raptors and that he was wrong. And there you go, Bill Simmons. That's right. You came around and you were wrong about the Raptors, and that's it. That's it right there. All right, that's it for the Raptors Reddit. Just checking in on that with that real quick. Let's see what you guys are saying now in the chat, and I'll get these next comments in. Let's see. Trevor saying, I am here in Staten Island. I came for Thanksgiving. I'm going to the game on Sunday, Raptors versus Knicks. Very, very cool, Trevor. Of course, you're always on the road and you're going places to see the Raptors on the road, and that's fantastic. I love that. Kareem saying 905 got 50% off game tickets right now. Ooh, man, I'm telling you, Kareem Thomas, you need to go to a Raptors 905 game courtside. Go down there because the courtside tickets for 905 are only like $150. So think about that. If you pay 50%, that's $75 for a courtside seat. And I'm telling you that experience is different. And on a 905 level, sure, it's not the NBA, but it's close. And that you're going to get to see guys like Chucky Hepburn, Elijah Martin, and AJ Lawson. So I would say, man, that sounds fantastic. 50% off on 905 tickets right now. Go to the game and enjoy it. So all right, next, the straight goods on Canadian goods is today I'm going to go ahead and put on blast Longo's as a Canadian grocery chain. They are owned by Canadians, and it is a Canadian grocery chain. I don't shop at Longo's myself very much, but there's a Longo's in the building we're at right now, and I got some Longo's orange juice. But yeah, you guys, we should support Canadian businesses. This is a sour jujubes from Longo's. And, Longo's grocery chain is better than an American chain like going to Walmart or stuff like that. So it's good to support Canada and its industry right now. So today, straight goods on Canadian goods, Longo's. Go to Longo's, the grocery store, and buy your goods there. And inside Longo's, buy Canadian goods inside the Longo's. There will be American products in there too. And well, just check the labels and find made in Canada or Canadian brands is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go towards the birthdays now. We're moving fast, and we will be done soon. In some ways, it's because I got to get out of this Airbnb, and I got to get Adriana home, and I got to get back out to the cottage. So, yeah, today, happy birthday, 43rd birthday to Leandro Barbosa. It is the Brazilian Blur's birthday today. Phoenix Suns legend and Toronto Raptor at a certain point. He did win a championship. He's an NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors. So he did get a ring. But 2 years with the Raptors, 100 games played with Leandro, and he averaged 13 points a game. In fact, he had his highest point per game average with the Toronto Raptors franchise out of all the franchises he played for in his career. So happy 43rd birthday to the Brazilian Blur, Leandro Barbosa. Barbosa, 43, baby. Let's go. All right, let's see what else. We're moving fast, guys. We're moving fast. Let's go ahead and do that classic card now, man, because I will get out of here. All right, let's see. Let's get this one. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is crazy, y'all. All right, you better be fast, y'all. Let's see. I'll put it over here. Let's see if you can see it from there. Yeah, first person to write the full name answer of this card will get the classic card of the day. This is interesting that it's this card. Can you see it? Can y'all see it from there? Is that too far? I'll bring it closer. Let's see if y'all can see it. I think that's easier now. I think that you can see that. It's so crazy that this is the card today. I just pulled it, and this is the card that I got, guys. Come on. Somebody's got to get that. That's right, Isaac. It's Scotty Barnes, guys. We actually had the classic card of the day is Scotty Barnes today. That is amazing. So what should I do? What kind of points should Isaac get for getting a Scotty Barnes classic card of the day? 25? That's less than what I usually do. I usually do 50. Let's see. I'll do something in honor of Scotty's 4. Let's give him 40. No, 40 is too less. Although he's easy. It's easy because it's Scotty. So maybe we do just give him 40 points. So, Isaac, you're getting a 40 spot for Scotty, the 4 times 10. So, Scotty Barnes, classic card of the day. It's not classic, though. Look at that nice Scotty card. Look at that. Ah, Brandon won. Raptors freak. 44 points. That's the right idea. That's right, Stardom. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. 44. 44 is the right number. All right, good call, man. Good call. Isaac, you're going to have a weird number. It's not going to be rounded by 5.
Give him 45.
No, give him 44. He's right. 44 is right. 45 is Delano. 45 is Delano. That's right. You just want 4 points, Isaac? Isaac just said 4 points. You know what? In some ways, that's kind of funny, too. Maybe I should just give him 4 points. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap the show up in an hour. So we're going to get everything done in the next 11 minutes, guys. So if anybody wants to comment on anything else right now, go ahead and put it in real quick. If not, I'm just going to go over it. I'm going to give him 4. I'm just going to do it. Isaac said that's what he wants. I'm going to do it. He's getting 4 points now. That's right. All right. Let's see. Once again, guys, I very seriously think the Toronto Raptors should be considered an NBA title contender for the season. I gave great examples of why. The reasoning I have is, another thing I want to espouse on real quick about why is because we're sneaky veteran. The Raptors may be one of the youngest teams in the NBA, skewed without Garrett Temple involved in the age pyramid, but there's sneaky experience on our team. There really is. I mean, we could say Garrett Temple, 17 years of all kinds of teams, all kinds of different playoff experiences and different things going on. Then you get to Jakob and Brandon, who came from the same draft year. And I know that Brandon hasn't had a whole lot of playoff experience, but he has been in the league for 10 years and he's chomping at the bit for it, I'll bet. And, his skills translate to the playoffs because he's really just hard to guard in general. And that kind of player does well in the playoff environment, like with Kawhi. And then Jakob, he kind of had a little bit with us at the beginning of his career with the playoffs. Obviously, he was around the year before we got the championship. So he had 2 years of playoffs with the Raptors early. And, he didn't really see anything since then. But he is a savvy player that's been in the league for a long time. And he's been schooled by the great Tim Duncan during his years in San Antonio. And, Scotty got playoff experience in his rookie year. RJ and Emmanuel had playoff experience with the Knicks for a couple years. So there is places where we can kind of point to. And I would even argue that Jamal Shed, even though he doesn't have playoff experience, has playoff experience somehow, some way, inexplicably. So, that's another thing on the down low. I would say in some ways out of these young teams like the Pistons and the Magic and the Hawks, I don't know, the Hawks shouldn't even be included anymore. I don't think the Hawks are actually a real contender this year. The other teams, their young players are not as experienced as us on the down low. So, it's not that we're just a complete young team. We have a couple of guys, like Brandon's a 10-year guy. And in some ways, he's refined as a 10-year guy. That he's at a different kind of level of maturity and play and knowledge and stuff. Even if he's been hurt in recent years, that doesn't mean that accumulated knowledge that he's had through his whole career is invalid just because he was hurt. So I'd say that. Kaz is saying Day'Ron Sharpe is on okay, hang on. I got to read. Kaz has another one here. And also Trevor had another comment here. Trevor's saying all teams around the NBA broadcast do the same thing. Yeah, they're different, though. Different broadcasts are different. Some of them ignore the other team and only homer for their team. And there's the Sixers and the Celtics are kind of like that. They're both like that. The Knicks can be like that too. But there are more balanced broadcast teams that really kind of play both sides of the ball. And I appreciate those ones. I hate listening to some of the broadcast teams, especially Philly's. Philly's broadcast team is just so annoying. So annoying. Yeah. Kaz is saying, good morning, Lex from Raptor Freak Crew. In regards to the Cavs, Mobley winning Defensive Player of the Year kind of screwed them over because now they have to pay him the Supermax contract. That's right. That's true. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like it kicked in these clauses that are in Mobley's contract that pushed them up over into the second apron. So, yeah, that's a good point, Kaz. That's a good point. He's also saying Day'Ron Sharpe is on a 2-year contract at $6 million a year, and the second year is a team option, I believe. Very cheap player. Him and Oshai make the same money virtually. That's what I'm saying. If the Nets are interested in Abaji, a great two-way player that is still got room to grow and get better and better, this may be a flip that they may be interested in it. We've also said that possibly the Nets have depth at the center position, and they may be willing to give up one of their bigs to get a really good all-around a two-way player like Abaji. Maybe. I don't know. Because we've got a lot of wings, and if they have a lot of bigs, maybe we can work something out here. Maybe we can work something out, especially if the money lines up right. You know what I'm saying? The money lines up right. All right, I missed comments at the top. Where did I miss comments? All right, I'll do a little audit on it real quick. I read that. Okay, Kareem said this. Okay, let me see. I think this is. Oh, I see now where you said this. Okay. James said our team stats rank in the top 10. That's a good sign. Yeah. Our team stats are very much indicating that we are a title contender. Trevor's saying this. You're going to see every team will start copying our style of basketball. They've already been doing that. That's part of the reason why the preseason looked like the playoffs. And that's also part of the reason why injuries are an uptick in the league right now. You know, Emmanuel quickly got asked the other day after the game, why are the Raptors like so often running like this? Well, he says because we hung out the whole summer and bought in. He said the young guys they don't really know, like the older players, that you can kind of go and do your own thing in the summer, but they're bought in and they want to all be together. Don't tell them, Emmanuel. Hush. Let them continue to come and work out together all summer long because it's benefited us for sure. The other reason why it's fantastic that we were together all summer is we built our cardio up. And, you know, if some guys took the summer off and showed up at training camp and their coach came in and say, hey, listen, this year we got to play more like the Raptors and go all out. And they're like, oh, shit, I guess I should have trained harder this summer. And then they try and play like the Raptors. They're more at risk to get injured. Because if you don't have good cardio and you're trying to go all out like we do, you may be at risk, seriously. And that may be part of the rash of injuries already this season that's happening across the league. In some ways, because we spent most of the summer working together and getting our cardio up, maybe we're a little bit more inoculated from the trials and tribulations of injuries. So I'm going to knock on wood either way. Right there. That's right. Chemistry would move that along. All right, here we go. Kareem's saying this. So, Lex, are we like a year ahead of schedule, or are we exactly where you thought we would be personally? I think we are like a half season ahead of schedule. The skill is there. I didn't know the chemistry would move along this fast. That's true. And some of it is the chemistry. You know, there's no real schedules. I mean, we can't really say this or that. I mean, that's why I was always saying, even when we started the rebuild, we could do this rebuild fast. It's like, sure, there's going to be some times where we're going to fail and we're going to lose a lot, like we did the first year of Darko's. And then the second year, yeah, we've lost some more, but we got better. And we've been building these whole 2 years. So, you know, everything that Darko has done as a coach of the Raptors has been worthwhile because it's led to this point. And, you know, the thing that was the real X factor this summer with gauging this was Brandon. It really has to do with Brandon staying healthy. It has to do with Brandon showing up and being bought in. And it has to do with Brandon gelling and becoming a really good part of our chemistry. And that's all going off really well so far. Because Ingram's not trying to waste his life, and we aren't either. So it's like if you can expedite things and move along faster because you're quick learners and you're just like that, we might as well. So I think that's all of it right there. It's like it's been a work in progress. We've been building this thing with our young core for 2 years now, and we've flipped over to the winning side of things very suddenly. And, you know, some people say, well, you can be winning and you got to strive and you got to go through the escalator of the playoffs and get, you know, you may get to the first round and you lose in the first round because it's the first taste of a young team. And that may very well be what happens to us this year. Hopefully not, because we'll have home court advantage in Brandon. But, you know, we'll see how far we get in the playoffs this year. But I think that if we get the right kind of luck and we're building as a team all season long, the team that we start the playoffs with could be very different than even the one we have right now, partly not with personnel, but just how badass they are and what level they're playing at. Because there are levels higher than what we're playing right now. And what we're playing right now is dominant in this league right now. So that's what we need to start opening our eyes up to, Raptors fans. Seriously, that's right. The chemistry did move very fast, and Darko noted that the other day. That's been a big part of it, yeah. Yeah, we need a better center than Kareem. Koloko. Sorry, Kareem. Kaloy saying this. We also have a 3 to 5 year window with this core. That's the other thing. That's right. And we can figure things out. And, you know, there may be a little bit of changes around the edges and the trimmings. But as long as we keep the main players, the ones that, you know, I feel like are essential to this. And they Scotty, Brandon, RJ, Emmanuel, Jakob, the starters, and Shed. I think we've got a really good chance for that whole entire period, what you're saying that right there. Isaac's saying, hi, general public. Hi, Mom. Hi, BI3's dad. Hi, Vinay. I don't know. I haven't been getting the Vinay calls lately. They called me the other day, and I said, he's not here. And they hung up, and they stopped calling me after that. It's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, Jason's saying this. We need a backup center, but I think we have a cap issue. Koloko would be cheap. Or do we go the trade route? I agree. I would prefer a more established center. I think that at a certain point, things will open up. Once again, the thing with the cap is it's at the end of the year. And Bobby can do really interesting things to get us under the cap right at the end of the season. So let's not worry about the cap. I don't think it has anything to do with money. But then again, we don't want to overpay and get a player that we don't need at a price on the bench that we don't really need. We need to hit the right target of the level of player and the pay. And Day'Ron Sharpe seems like the right area for me as far as how I look at it. Yeah. Trevor's saying all those talking heads who was saying we're too expensive, never going to work. Now they eating their own words. I love that. I love that, man. Let's see. Kesper is saying this. Darko lets his whole team know that and okay, that's where I read. That's where I left off right there. Okay, cool. All right, let me just make sure I didn't miss any more. Thank you for letting me know about that, Trevor, and going back and collecting those. All right, I'm right in an hour. I'm going to go ahead and finish up after I get these last few comments, and then we'll be done. Kareem's saying, yeah, Lex, you skipped my comments at the top, but I figured it's your competitive spirit because I'm facing you in fantasy. That's hilarious. That gets a dunk right there. That's not why. It's just me being an old man. And, you know, the chat jumps around, and I try to hold my place. I'm really keeping it by the last comment I read, and then I find it. But if I think that it's somebody else, and maybe that I saw a Trevor comment, and then I saw another Trevor comment, and I got behind the wrong Trevor comment. And that's what it was, 278 for Kareem Thomas. He's starting to widen the lead on Sheriff Seymour Pape as far as the dunk championship right now. Yeah, it's going to be only one more month, and then we'll have the dunk championship will be crowned at the end of the year of 2025. And will Kareem Thomas win it once again? This would be like his 4th dunk championship in a row, I'm pretty sure. That'd be crazy, man. Randolph is here. Lex and our beloved Raptor Freaks, family blessings. Your worth and value is not often known until others need you. Yeah, I don't want to derive my worth and value from that, but this is a good place where you can be of worth and value to other people in service if they are in trouble. But I want to derive my worth and value internally from myself. And that's important, because if you're looking for validation from the outside in what you do, you're going to be in trouble. And in some ways, you got to have a confidence in yourself to know your own value, even if it's not actively being used or utilized by somebody in your life or somewhere. That's the way I look at it. But blessing to Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. And you know what? Be in service to people, because, you know, we're a community and we are all connected. And when we're detached and we isolate, we don't want to be helping each other. That's not good. We're going to really need each other soon, and be ready to help each other is what I'm saying. Chris comes saying this: Raptors are so good, they don't need my prediction. I love that. Sheesh, feels good to know this team is good before the season started. You know what's up, Lex. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of people, even Raptors content makers, they may be kind of going weird still. None of them will go crazy like me and toot the horn of the Raptors and say, this is so good. Some of them are pensive. Some of them don't totally want to believe it. But I'm daring. I'll go ahead and believe it. And because I've always aimed for the sky, the highest goals. And I feel like they're going to do so good this year, guys. And it's going to be, in some ways, very parallel to the Blue Jays season, guys. I really do feel like the Blue Jays blueprint for this season they just had is going to be similar to what happens to the Raptors this year, guys. Hopefully we win, though, in the finals. That's what I'd say right there, yeah. Malaroca is Atlantis. Good morning to you, sir. He's saying the Irish, Welsh, Scots, and English have been found to be genetic blood brothers of the Basque people. Secret Holy Grail. Scientists revealed this is the true history they hid. Look it up and pass it on. Okay, that sounds crazy. In some ways, this is not on subject. In some ways, it's like, well, all right. I mean, this is what happens when I let non-subscribers comment in the channel, guys. Something like this. Okay, all right. Okay, you want to say that? That's fine. That's fine. Either way, I'm out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody watching the Raptor Freak stream today. If you don't think that you don't think that the Raptors are true title contenders for this season, go ahead and write a comment on my stream today and write it in. I'll read it, and we can talk about it in the comments section after the live is over. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Friday, and we'll be back tomorrow with previews for both the Raptors and the Raptors 905 at 9:30 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. All right, y'all. Love you guys. Peace out. Remember, our future's so bright, like the light behind me. We got to wear shades. That's right. Let's go, Raptors. Woo!